Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome to another exciting episode on SHARKNEWZ, as today, just when you think that you know G.I. Joe to its full potential, you end up discovering more new things, whether you were born in the 80s or late 90s, whatever it is, the era that you enjoy considering yourself being a part of. We know that in the previous videos I talked about how there was all these vehicles that could be HasLabs, all these vehicles that could be Hasbro Pulse exclusives, but you know, with the exception of other like gliders and other like helicopter like pilot style vehicles that could be associated with characters, which I did not include in this particular video, but in today's video I wanted to kind of go over kind of some, I guess you can say, I don't want to call it accessory packs, but more so things you can kind of include with your G.I. Joe vehicles and playsets and things that kind of expand the world, which makes it really exciting. Now, I do want to make a disclaimer that I am pretty sure I'm missing a lot more than this. However, that gives me more of an opportunity to read your comments and then do a part 2 and then go over on some other things that I've missed. So if I have missed anything that you guys want me to talk about, leave it in the comments below, and within the next video, whenever that is, I'll do an updated one and include your suggestions in there. And if you haven't seen the other parts where I talk about other vehicles, please go ahead and check that video out on the channel as well. So by looking at all these, again, there's a lot more, so hopefully I got most of the main ones. There are some pretty cool things to note here, and one of them is just looking at how diverse G.I. Joe really is. How much the 80s paved the way for these small ass little toys and really gave collectors, or even kids at that time, probably one of the best world building experiences you could ever think of. So regardless of that, let's go ahead and take a look at what we can hopefully see within the G.I. Joe line somewhere in the next 10, 15, maybe 20 years if they decide to do so. So here we go. The first one we're going to be taking a look at is the sorry, one second. Bam. The first one we're going to be taking a look at is the Flak, the Field Light Attack Cannon. This one is pretty cool looking. I mean, it's as iconic and standard as it gets, but I just love the fact that you have that one seat there and you can kind of just shoot down and take down, you know, whatever, you know, Cobras coming at you or whatever air vehicles are there. So this is a very nice looking, again, I don't know what kind of category you want to put these in, so whatever. I mean, you guys can let me know. But it's a really cool looking one. Now I can easily see a bunch of other Joes really like the 6-inch scale Joes really being part of this and just utilizing one character in there, so that makes it really fascinating. Next we have the HAL, which is the Heavy Artillery Laser. This is a beast. Now, will the G.I. Joe team do this? I'm sure they will at some point. Just by looking at it, you can easily attach it to whatever vehicle you want. And yeah, I mean, otherwise it looks good. I mean, I love the fact that all these earlier vehicles that they came out with were all in that green aesthetic to give it that whole military vibe. And I just love like the code words or like the lettering or the numbers on the bottom, and it just gave you like this whole military feel to it to kind of. And despite having like G.I. Joe being more on the, I guess you can say, sometimes fantasy or ninjas and all that, but at least the earlier years of G.I. Joe, they really, you know, condensed it to a point where it's like, okay, these are really cool military action figures, so to speak, before we got into that whole futuristic sci-fi ninja versions. But otherwise, it's fine for what it is. Next, we have the Jump, aka the Jet Mobile Propulsion Unit, and this is interesting because, you know, unless you have a character that, you know, utilizes the jetpack, then sure. Like, I mean, the fact that they give you like a platform to just kind of stand there, and then obviously you have like the flame effects going underneath it, so it kind of gives you like a little bit of leverage and a platform to stand on. Pretty interesting. And seeing how we have a couple of figures utilizing this already, like Starduster and the Steel Core figures. You know, yeah, I mean, you can easily utilize this for any of those two at the time being, so pretty awesome. I mean, I like this one. Yes, I mean, you can just put this wherever you want. I personally don't really see the need for it, in the sense of like just wherever you're standing, kind of just use your jetpack, but whatever, it's fine. Next, we have the MMS, which recently just, I guess it went up, yeah, it went up for pre-order already, which is that came with the Hawk figure, Hawk with the MMS. The thing I like about this one, it stays pretty faithful to what we have already given. As you can see, Collector is already throwing this aside next to the GIJOE Classified Vamp. So that's what makes it... one second. Yeah, so that's what makes it very, very fun. And the thing is, I also forgot to include the HMS, which is part of the HISS tank, so forgive me for that one. But yeah, I mean, the HMS was included in some other... I'm looking at it right now, so I apologize for excluding the HMS in this particular video, but we'll come back to that someday in the future. But otherwise, I like it. I mean, we've seen this come out with the Hawk, so at least Classified has started to give us this type of thing, you know, in terms of missiles and additional attachments. Next, we have the Whirlwind Twin Battle Gun. It's pretty much as straightforward as you can get. There's a seat in the back, and you just kind of, you know, aim with two double weapons there, just shooting whatever it is you need to. So it's a really, it's cool. I mean, it gives you, like, you have to think about it in the sense of world building, where you have, you know, your headquarters, you have all these vehicles, and then you have these things hitting on the side. So basically, when you're a G.I. Joe collector, not one character is useless. You're utilizing like every single character to battle to be a part of a certain station, which makes it so damn exciting. And for me, because I'd never owned these and I wish to at some point, you know, I focused more on the figures itself than vehicles, and these would be like on the last priority list. But let's say if I was a kid and I had these at that time, I could, you know, honestly tell you that I would utilize all these with different characters and just be like, no character is left behind, or no character is, you know, not used. So this one, I think this one's a great one. Next, we have the Pack Rat, aka the Flamethrower, which also stands for the Programmed Assault Computer and Rapid All-Terrain. So I believe there's about 3 of these, and they all kind of, I don't want to say combine together, but you can kind of attach them together to kind of make it more of a bigger unit. So I'm not really a fan when they do like the red, like when they add like red coloring onto certain like stuff like this. It just takes away from, like, black would have just been really cool, but I get it, it's a kid's toy, it's fine. Then we have the Pat Rat machine gun. Again, looks pretty cool. Just, I'm not a fan of the reds, but it's utilized well. I mean, you could just, however it is you want to incorporate this in your world building. Then we have the Pack Rat missile launcher. So this is, I believe, the last one, third one. So I can see where they were going with this. This one is pretty dope. It's just, I'm not a fan of the red missiles. Black would have just been really better. But the fact that, I guess these are all remote controlled, we can see like the controller there on the bottom. So I think all 3 of these had the controllers there. So yeah, they're all controlled by individuals, so you don't necessarily have to sit on it, but I believe there is a seat. I'm not sure, but if not, then obviously they're just all controlled manually through particularly lasers and stuff. So pretty cool. I mean, through communication and stuff. Next, we have a different and better image of the Bivouac, which I've already talked about in the previous video. So we know this one is coming out with the GIJOE Classified HASLAB SNOWCAT. So seeing this, so we know that the GI Joe team is doing their research, which I like, and I respect them for giving us this type of, you know, playset, if you want to prefer. I mean, it's got the cot, the tent, and then the shovel with the axe and the knife, and it's got the communicator radio station and whatever that beam thing is right there, so, or satellite, I don't know. Otherwise, it's fine. I mean, it's right to the T in terms of the Bivouac. So the fact that they took this simple little design and they elevated it to a very modern approach in coloring and detail and design, like, I give them utmost credit for it, because I would have never thought to have done this myself, but pretty cool. Next we have the mountain battle station. This shit looks insane. I mean, I can just hear how the missiles would, like, or the bullets or whatever, just would project out of this thing. And yeah, like, it's so damn cool. I mean, look at that firepower. You have like a place to add extra weapons and accessories, or even just the extra what do you call it, the shells. So I mean, that's so damn cool. Like, even plus it comes with the wheels and then the attachment to have in the back of a vehicle to pull it. So I mean, damn, GI Joe, man, they were so damn ahead of it. This is what excites me. This is what makes me happy to be a GI Joe collector. The fact that we could see things like this. They really went above and beyond, at least in the 80s, to give us like all this stuff. So for those that are watching this video and have seen it, like, you know, congratulations if you were born in the 80s, man. Like, you guys are so damn lucky. So we talked about this before in the previous video, as we have the battle station Watchtower. We know that we're getting close to it, as we have the Trench Viper and then the Steel Core figure with the porta potties. So I feel like we're getting pretty close to this particular thing from being made, because we have the ladders, they have somewhat of the riveting, I don't know, what do you want to call it, like the case protector around it, or like the foundation of it. So I don't think it should take them too long or hard to create something more of an elevated platform. Plus with the flag and then some extra firepower and searchlights, I mean, that's sick. That's really cool. So just think about it in the sense of having a headquarters and then you have these watchtowers aside from it. So think about how much world building you're getting out of all these little playset things. Like, oh, man, it's absolutely bonkers. It's so cool. Here's a really, really cool one. We have the machine gun defense unit. I believe in the image it showcased rock and roll. Therefore, the thing about this one is, like, you can kind of put two and two together in terms of what's being utilized here. It gives you, again, that whole military aesthetic of it, which is so damn cool. And the fact that it says, you know, restricted area, stay clear, no one beyond this point. Like, imagine having all of these things outside of the command center, you know, like, and then you have like extra firepower too to kind of give it like that cool aesthetic to it. I mean, plus you got, like, I mean, it's very, very simple, but at the same time, like, it's like simple but offers a lot, if that makes sense. Like, it just, man, I don't even, at this point, I don't even know what the hell I'm even saying. Like, that's how much I'm enjoying it. Like, you just have to visualize like how to utilize these. And Classified, I'm sure they could probably make this one at some point. Next, we have the mobile defense unit, which is has like an ammunition depot, and then you can add missiles there, and then like a brick wall, which is pretty cool. So will the GI Joe team do something of this sort? It's possible. I mean, we've seen them do like that hay stack or the stack of the bags of sand. So I don't think a brick wall should be that difficult to do. And plus there's like a hole for you to place a figure and to do like fire and stuff like that. So, I mean, man, so awesome. It's so damn cool. Like, as simple as it is, like, you can tell that the GI Joe team will definitely update this to a really cool version of it someday in the future, you know, with a little more wash and coloring, hopefully. Fingers crossed. If not, then that sucks. Otherwise, it would be cool if they did. Next, we have the Manta, aka the Marine Assault Nautical Transport, air-driven. This is pretty cool. I mean, I think this one came with Stalker. Nah, I don't remember. And again, I did not include the other the parachutes or the other what do you call it? Shoot, I forgot the name of it, but I wanted to include this one just because it looks really dope. Like, imagine standing your Joe figures on it and you just place it in the water and it's like floating. Plus it has like missiles, and you got like a place to yeah, I mean, you have like the little rod for your figures to hold and stuff. It's very simple and basic, but it still adds a lot. Next, we have the ammo dump unit, which is just a little box for you to put ammunitions in there. So this, again, like, you have to think about it in the world of G.I. Joe. Tell me what company, at least back when Hasbro was freaking insanely awesome at what they were doing. Imagine as a kid, you know, you're always losing weapons, you're always like throwing things around, you're bashing your figures together, etc., but to utilize an ammo dump unit, like, you're putting extra missiles, extra guns, and all that stuff in there, and you're just like, man, like, how thoughtful is this stuff? Like, just picking it out of the little containers and stuff and be like, you know, we have all this extra, you know, accessories, right? So, you know, based on whatever we've just seen in this video, like, imagine having this next to each of those, and then you just open the lid and you have all these extra missiles and stuff. Like, that tells you how much planning they put into how each of these other accessories that we've just talked about can be utilized with this next to it, and it gives you more options to not be shortened by any type of firepower, right? So sick. Next, we have the forward observe unit. Pretty cool. We got like a tent. We got, I guess, a telescope, a communicator. Then we got, I mean, you can hear this one in your head too. I mean, just the noise that's going to come out of. This one is pretty sick. Very similar to the Bivouac in the sense of the tent. So I feel like the G.I. Joe team might do this at some point, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you think that this one's logical or reasonable to do. This one's a pretty cool one. We have the rifle wrench, and I believe in the image we had scrap iron, like just utilizing the ammunitions and the weapons and doing like target practice, which is really, really sick. So this one kind of, I guess it can go hand in hand. So maybe next year when we do like a HasLab, they probably might do something similar to this. Now, will collectors like it in the sense of what do we need to do a firing range for? I don't know. But again, you just have to think about it, world building, just a bunch of Cobra troopers, officers, Vipers that need to target practice, and having something like this, it's all about imagination at this point. So I like it. It's so damn cool. It's making me drool at this point. Like, this shit is so cool. So we talked about the surveillance port already in the previous video, so I don't think I need to share my thoughts on this one other than I love it. It looks freaking fantastic, and we're getting pretty close because we've seen the trench vipers and the porta potties, so I don't think this one is too far behind. Then we have the battle station, which is pretty cool. You have the firepower in the front, and I believe you can have a figure sit in the back, which is pretty sick. Again, loving the colored green aesthetics and just all that extra sculpting and detailing on the interior of it looks fantastic. I mean, damn. The Joe team outdid themselves back in the 80s. Alright, so next we have the Outpost Defender, and this one is pretty cool because seeing how we have similar stuff like this coming out already, again with the steel core figure and the porta potties, and then we had those bags of sand that we've seen previously. So I don't think this one is too far off the table. It seems like this one can easily be done compared to some other ones that we've talked about, but again, we have more containers for ammunitions and stuff, so it's very simple. I don't think this could be anywhere near Pulse exclusives or anything shit like that. They should really just put it up for pre-order and just be like, hey guys, like, buy it. You know, like, I don't want to see any like stupid decisions of like, oh, it's an exclusive or it's limited on Pulse, or you know, all that crap. They just need to make it and then watch it sell, hopefully. Maybe. We'll see. Next we have the Coastal Defender. This one is pretty dope because you have this, I guess you can say, this box that kind of opens up, and then you have a seat there, and then you got missiles, and it's got wheels. It's got a satellite on top. I mean, that's kind of wowzer if you ask me. I mean, wow, yeah. I don't know what else to really tell you, but it's pretty cool. Again, I'm not a fan of the reds, but this one can be done. Then we have the Road Toad. Don't have too much to say about this one other than it's fine for what it is, but would this be made anytime soon? I don't think so. Then we have the Cobra Bunker, which I've talked about in the previous video. I think this one can also be made, again, seeing with the Trench Viper, so everything's kind of like hand in hand at this point, so it looks pretty dope. I think this one would be very sick to do, and I'm sure they'll probably do it at some point, so this one seems like it'll happen. Then we have the SLAM, which is the Strategic Low Range Artillery. I think I forgot to add this part of the vehicles line, so I just wanted to talk about it just because you have the seating options, the orange missiles, and wheels at the bottom. So, yeah, and then you got those extra firepower in the front in terms of shooting your villains. So, Cobra characters, pretty cool. Next, we have the Air Defense. This is, you know, it's cool. Like, again, you just place it right next to your GI Joe command center, and like it'll be fine. And of course, you have the ammunition dump thing that I talked about earlier, whatever that was called, and then, you know, place missiles in there. You lose those 2 rockets or missiles, and then you have characters, just add in new ones, and then you're good to go. So shit's so cool. So here's a very interesting one. I wanted to really fast forward into this, but if you look at some of these, I guess, I don't know what you want to call it, but they're like most specialized backpack ground units. So I just wanted to capture all of these in one segment. But, you know, we got helicopters, we got a radar station, we got a rope walker for Outback. Crocmaster has an earth board, like a drill, kind of like how Ninja Turtles. Anti-aircraft gun. We have the mountain climber for Big Boa, which is pretty weird. And then we have, what else do we have? The pom-pom gun. I mean, that's cool. I mean, we have, what's his name? Raptor using it. So I don't know. This one is pretty far-fetched. I don't think any of these will be made. So, oh, but it's cool though. It says wind up motors and on and off switch. So at least it's got some kind of a gimmick to utilize with these. And then the second one is roughly in the same category, specialized backpacks, as we have the Cobra machine gun nest. We have the double machine gun. We have the minesweeper. I mean, that's kind of, so this is like more bizarre. Cobra twin missile radar, the motor launcher, the battle axe. Yeah, I don't even know, like, why. So these are, I think, them kind of pushing the limits at this point, but don't really think these were needed. So yeah, otherwise it's fine, like, but definitely not gonna happen anytime soon. So with that being said, those were, I hope, all or most of these cool looking accessory sets to add to your vehicles, or even the play sets, and just really cool additions into the GI Joe line. So other than that, let me know in the comments below what you think would be made possible in the classified line, and huge thanks to Carson for allowing me to use these images at 3djoes.com. The link will be in the description below, and hopefully we'll see what happens in the future. Otherwise, I want to thank you guys all for watching. Let me know if I missed anything below, and I'll talk to you guys all in the next episode.